Hi collective, welcome to my channel, Celestial Clarity Tarot. I am so excited and happy to have you here. As you can tell by the title, I have a juicy one for us today. It's a pick a card or pick a pile technically, but the reading is called Message from Your Shadow Self. So it's kind of like about shadow alchemy and certain things buzzing around in your subconscious that might be sabotaging you, that you kind of need to reconcile with in order to, move forward, make some progress in life and such. So yeah, it's going to start with an energy check-in just so you can confirm that, this is your reading and you're at the right pile. And the main question, which is what aspect of your shadow needs to be integrated at this time. And I pre-shuffled the cards for that just to save on time a little bit. After that, we're going to get into how to do that and then just any extra advice from Spirit on how to do that. So, choose your pile. The timestamps will be below. This is pile 1 and this is pile 2. I'm going to put a still image so you can pause the video, kind of take a couple of deep breaths, ground yourself a little bit, and see which pile you're really drawn to. So yeah, that's it. That's the reading, and I'll see you guys at your pile. Hi pile 1. If you chose this Rondite Heart and the Wild Unknown Tarot, you're in the right spot. Just going to give these cards a quick shuffle. Before I start, I will say, please keep in mind this is a general collective reading. Please only take what truly resonates with you. Any messages that don't, leave it behind. With general collective readings, you might have like pretty much all the messages in the video resonate, maybe only a little bit, maybe like half, maybe like 70%. Just use your discernment. Use your discernment. Okay. Spirit, can I please get the current energy of my pile 1 collective so they can know that they're in the right place? Oh, and of course it went on the floor. I love that. I love bending down. Four of Pentacles. The Hangman in reverse. Can I have one more card, please, Spirit? And the Ten of Cups. Well, that is very interesting. Hierophant on the bottom of the deck. With the Hangman in reverse, I see this as a good thing, as a positive thing. You might have recently in the past been in this place of feeling kind of really stuck and kind of a bit powerless to current circumstances, and in this place of needing to just surrender and be like, all right, divine, all right, universe, like, I'm just gonna roll with the punches because I can't really do anything about the situation at hand. I can't really change the outcome, or you were recently in the past put in this sort of position where you had to surrender and sort of let certain things go. I feel like this is what you were surrendering. The circumstances that you had to kind of surrender had to do with something in your 3D reality. Maybe there were certain changes, but they were things that you were quite attached to, and you didn't really want to see change, but like I said, your hand was kind of forced into being in this place of surrender and just seeing how it ends up turning out in the end. With the Ten of Cups energy, I see this as kind of like where you're at currently is kind of this liminal kind of space, this in between. And in that in between, there's this certain spark, this certain essence of a vision that's opening up to you that is like an ideal reality. So although whatever had happened over here in this kind of energy was like not fun, and you had to go through a lot of changes, and with the Hierophant on the bottom of the deck, I feel like now you're in a sort of place where you can see the lesson that it taught you, and you're starting to, release that cycle and are envisioning, the next and sort of where you want to end up, and sort of an ideal reality. Yep, that's what I'm getting. So if that resonates, if that's you, then this will be a reading today. Give those another shuffle. So now we're going to get into the main message that I pre-shuffled some cards for, which is what aspect of your shadow most needs to be integrated at this time. I feel like I want to do the spread like that. Is that in the camera? Okay. Just give me a second to sort of tap into this energy a little bit more before I start getting into the message. Okay, how long was I out for? That felt like a long time, but I was just absorbing a lot of the energy preparing to talk about it. I don't know. I hope that wasn't like 40 seconds of silence. We'll see. I might have to edit that shit out. Okay. With the Rue speaks to, it's this certain thread of, well, the Rue is like a dual-edged sword. And so is the Poet, which is interesting. But when it comes to shadows can be like that. Like, there might be an aspect of your shadow that comes from a light aspect, but it's just out of balance. And the means to integrate it is just to figure out how to like not deal with. I'm trying to think of the right way to say it. How to hold both truths in a sense, like to balance out the duality of it. But I feel a sense of mourning or almost regret for maybe lost time, or maybe even like lost timelines, like certain, when you've come to certain places in your life where there was like a decision, and it's like, you can either go this way or you can either go that way. And there's this sense of looking back and wishing that you had gone the other way. But this key here, this key is standing out so strongly to me. And we had the Hierophant on the bottom of the deck too in your energy check-in, which has the big symbol in that is also a key. So there's this message coming through about your experiences that you've had thus far have been the key to get you where you're needing to go, where you're trying to go. I feel like that there's been an aspect of maybe like you lacked a certain kind of vision and you were just going with the flow, just kind of going through the motions. And now that you've sort of restored having like a higher vision for your life and the ability to kind of like envision and really feel into like an ideal reality, that you're just kind of looking back like, well, what the fuck was I doing this whole time, like before this? Like, a lot about possibility and timelines with this empty room. It's sort of like on the one hand, you have wished that you could have made different decisions in the past and sort of gone down different paths and maybe been on a different timeline. But I feel like now that you're in a position where a lot of doors are opening up, that this archetypal energy of the empty room of infinite potential and possibilities, now that you're looking at it, it's sort of like there's this fear, you know, because it's like, which one? You're lacking this sort of faith and this trust that you know what your highest timeline is and what path to go down. Because the Rue is a lot about purification, also protection, but the purification aspect of it is speaking to this need to sort of release the past, any past regrets, and sort of just wash all of that stuff away and be present in the now with what you do have, with what you can do with the current energy and what paths you can go down. Yeah, the Poet card is giving me this energy of like teeming with all types of possibilities as well. But something about this imagery, I'm getting that okay, so say this light is like your intuition or your spirit, maybe your higher self, right? And this is sort of this guiding light that you can look to, which has the key and the answers on what to put in this empty room or what path to go down, right? So it's there within here, but you're holding it in a place where you can't see it clearly, if that makes sense. The Poet too is also it's sort of a liminal kind of energy. The poet archetype sort of bridges the gap between like the spiritual realm and the physical realm. So your spiritual path and like your destiny path, your north node, right? The line path, the highest timeline, if you want to call it that way. It's not very I want to say it's not clear, but it's not as, it's quite unique. So you know, I don't want to say that how do I say this? Not that for some people they have like life on easy mode and you kind of have it on hard mode. But some paths that some people are called to walk by spirit or sort of more convoluted. And I feel like that's true for you. So I'm getting a message of sort of needing to forgive yourself for maybe certain times along the path where you might have stumbled or faltered or felt lost or kind of just stayed in a certain spot for a while because you didn't really have that direction on where to go. Yeah, that's that Rue card. So it's kind of like this need to purify and release the actions of your past. I feel like I've said that already. Did I say that already? I don't know. It's coming through very strongly. So Spirit really wants you to remember that and to forgive yourself for that. Because I feel like it really hasn't been easy for you. But that's not a bad thing that you should see as a curse. Oh, with that poet card, you might feel that something about feeling cursed in a way. Not to call you out, because I do kind of relate to that as someone on a spiritual path and sort of a mystic kind of path. It's a lot, and it can feel like too much, or like you just wish you were more normal, I suppose. Like things were just more obvious, not as convoluted, not as, you know what I'm trying to say. But there's a shadow aspect sort of maybe feeling like you're cursed in a way to never really get where you're supposed to be. There it is. Okay, so that's technically two things, which is fine. But there's that, and then this sort of the fear behind being faced with infinite potentials and like a lot of different possibilities, which I feel like you're probably at this sort of place now, which is why this message found you. But okay, now we can get into how, well, I feel like I kind of did channel that through already about how you can integrate your shadow, or these certain aspects of your shadow. But we're gonna get more into it. We're gonna draw some more cards about that. So I'm going to get, I don't know if I want to do another archetype now. I'm going to get these, what is this? The Starseed Oracle and the Tarot. So Spirit, how can my pile 1 collective integrate this part of their shadow? Do I want another one? Yeah. Give me one more card, please, Spirit. Oh, this one turned over. You want me to take all of them? Yeah, they want me to take all of them. That's kind of not in the camera. Hold on. Okay. Gonna get some tarot too. Spirit, tell me more about this energy. Oh shit. All of them? All of them. Wait. Can I have one more card, please, Spirit? Okay. Are these cards in the camera? Nope. I'm new to filming, you guys, so... You know what? That looks good enough. Okay, so our oracles. The blue flame. Spontaneous awakening, activation, and integration time. Yeah, I'm just going to start there. I'm not going to introduce all the cards. So, with the blue flame and the 6 of Swords and the Justice, sorry, I have like a lot of messages coming through at once, so I'm trying to see what they want me to talk about first. With the 6 of Swords, well, really with these 3 tarot cards that I have down here, you are in this phase of, you're sort of in a liminal phase where you have transitioned from, well, you've released certain things that no longer serve you, that weren't in alignment. And I feel like this might have happened spontaneously, like with the blue flame card and the spontaneous awakening. It was like some spark. I'm thinking about that Hierophant card again, so yeah, it might have come through even if you didn't know it was a spiritual download or perceive it that way, like you got a download to clear certain things out. Karmic energy, you know, unaligned shit, lower vibrational shit, that's just not in alignment, that wasn't serving you. Kind of clearing that out, especially with Justice. With the Justice and the 6 of Swords, I'm getting this message of discernment, especially with this oracle card here, this Water Your Garden. It says nourishment, body care, tenderness, and rest. So there's this element of a high level of discernment and really protecting your peace and your energy. It's also literally about like taking better care of your physical vessel. But I would say that right now definitely is a time to be in your soft girl era, so to speak, and maybe skip certain outings that you don't really want to go to stay at home and take care of business and just, do things that pour into you on a spiritual level. Maybe like taking some time to just take a full day of like rest and rejuvenation where you just stay at home and maybe like clean and relax and do some extra self-care or hygiene stuff, maybe spiritual baths. I'm really drawn to the way that she's in the water, so you might need to, especially when we got that Rue Oracle card in the last spread, that energy of like needing to purify. Definitely if you're in a transition phase with that death energy, that's another message. I need to chill. I lost my train of thought. Sorry guys, the messages are coming through like so quickly. Oh, I wanted to say one more thing about the energy over here with the blue flame and the Six of Swords. It's about this need to maybe trust in this energy. Like if you just spontaneously just were like, I'm just gonna change my life, like I'm gonna get rid of this, that situation, these people, this thing that is, oh my gosh, sorry, I have to burp. Sometimes when I'm channeling, I have to burp, but it's like not a normal burp. It's like, I don't know, they're weird. Channeling burps are weird. What was I saying? Trust where you're being led, basically. Like if you just all of a sudden woke up and were like, okay, I'm going to change my life in like all these different ways. That was a download. You can trust that, and yeah, just continue to follow that, and where your intuition is sort of guiding you with that information. And then at the end here we have the golden children, inner child, tenderness, innocence, rare gifts. We have tenderness, yeah, tenderness in this card in the water your garden, and tenderness in the golden children. So definitely be nice to yourself. That message is coming out again. Yeah, don't hold yourself to like, or don't villainize your past self. Because you might think that your past self is like gone or whatever, but your past self is still like alive inside of you. And if you're like thinking about your past self and sort of beating them up and being like, oh, you're so stupid, you should have done this, if you would have done that, then you could be at this point now, and blah blah blah, that still hurts you presently, you know. But the Eight of Pentacles, Death and Eight of Pentacles underneath this golden children. Yeah, with the blue flame and the golden children, there's certain spiritual gifts awakening in you. I feel like maybe your clairsenses are going through an upgrade, or maybe it's something something creatively related. I do feel like there are a lot of creatives here, especially with the Daughter of Cups energy on the bottom of the deck. Definitely a lot of you could be artists, musicians, anything creative. And that spark is kind of not coming back online like it was gone, but it's intensifying. And that's also going to help you a lot to sort of, I guess, make a habit or a regular practice of tapping into that is really going to help you to integrate certain fears and your shadow aspects. Had to take a drink of water, you guys. I know you could probably hear it because my camera is so close to my face, so forgive me. Okay. I think that's all I'm seeing here in this spread. I'm going to get you guys some closing advice next to finish up the reading. All right, Spirit, what closing advice do you have for my Pile 1 collective? What closing advice do you have for them? Can I get one more, please, Spirit? My Pile 1 collective. We got some 7s here. And on the bottom of the deck, positive movement forward. I'm not going to take that one, but I am going to put it right there. Okay, with stand your ground coming out first with this 7 energy, well, this is like the 7 of Wands in the Rider-Waite traditional tarot, which, yeah, is about a certain level of defensiveness, which was coming out in that previous spread with the Justice card, and when I was talking about your level of discernment. You are in a sort of liminal phase right now, so it is really important for you to be quite discerning, I think, about the energies and the people, places, and things, and the activities, habits that you partake in, because all of that stuff has a frequency. And, you know, when you want to manifest your ideal reality, or you want to move in a certain direction, you have to be in alignment with whatever desired outcome is. You have to be in alignment with that frequency in order to make progress towards it, right? So with stand your ground, this is about tapping into your intuition and discernment to continue to sort of move away from, avoid, and sort of reject whatever is of the frequency that, you know, you're not trying to go towards. With the deception and envy card, you might, with that message coming out so strongly, you might still have, I keep getting the message of it being people. Like, you have certain karmic people, karmic influences around you. And it's like you're in this phase of trying to break away from and move away from that sort of energy and vibration. But, okay, yeah, there's a message. When you start to break away from that and you still have, like, certain established things in your life that are in that vibration that you're moving away from, they start to notice, and there's usually some type of, I guess, pushback, you could say. Even if it's not literally people, it doesn't have to be literally people. It could be other things. It could be anything. But yeah, there's when you try and break away from that energy, it causes this what's the word? I guess like an energetic sort of tension. It causes a energetic tension, and there's usually like sort of pushback from said karmic forces, because they're trying to drag you back into that frequency that you were in. So Spirit is just saying that to trust divine, trust your discernment and your intuition to guide you towards what is in energetic alignment with where you're trying to go. And you will see positive movement forward in your 3D reality, in your physical world, and in your life. So, yeah, that's the messages for you today. I hope that you enjoyed the reading. Don't forget to like the video if you liked it. Consider subscribing if you would like to see more videos like this from me, more tarot readings. If you would like to book a personal reading with me, my Etsy shop will be in the description of the video. And if I think that's all. Thank you so much, Pile 1. Hope you enjoyed the reading, and I hope you have a beautiful and blessed rest of your day and night. Thanks. Bye. Hi, Pile 2. If you chose this little piece of hematite and this Nightfall Tarot, then you're in the right spot. I'm gonna start with a quick little energy check-in, see if you resonate with that, then this is definitely your reading. Spirit, can you please give me the current energy for my Pile 2 collective so they can know that this is their reading? Both of those. Knight of Wands coming out first. Ace of Pentacles. And can I have one more card, please? Okay, yeah, Two of Swords wants to come out. Okay, let me bring these a little bit closer. Knight of Wands, Ace of Pentacles, and the Two of Swords. So, there is something that you are in pursuit of. I feel like it's been a long time coming, because I've never noticed these like pyramids in the background here. And I got the word like ancient coming through. So this is very I'm getting this thread of energy that feels quite karmic, but not karmic in a bad way, like something that is like has codes from something from a past life. It might be something that you're feeling called to do or to move towards, that you are trying to make moves towards, that has this sort of frequency of being very ancient, if that makes sense. The Ace of Pentacles, there is this 3D physical doorway or opportunity opening up for you to sort of like run through and accept. That's a really pretty Ace of Pentacles card. I really like that. Like, I would love to spend a weekend there. That would be so chill. Anyways, I don't know why I was saying that. Okay, but when it comes to this situation, right, there is a decision here. Oh my gosh, my hand's shaking. I don't know if you can see that. But with this decision, you've been sitting on that decision a while. My eyes are drawn to this bench. Like, it's hella cozy. Like, she could sit there for a long time, I bet. So I feel like you might be, like, in a way, you are moving towards this thing that you are feeling called on a soul level towards. But there's this element or this aspect of holding back from it to a degree. And I'm not sure what exactly that means or how exactly you're doing that. But there is a decision to be made here that can only be made based off of your own intuition and discernment and what your soul is guiding you towards. And there is a fearful element to that for you, because, I don't know, something about the expression on her face, like, she don't look very happy. Let's see, am I seeing anything else? With the Ace of Pentacles, there is this, I'm getting this energy of nostalgia and yearning. So with whatever this is that you're trying the best way that you know how to move towards, there is this, gosh, I'm losing my train of thought. There's an element of nostalgia and yearning for it, which is more of that, like, thread of, like, past life energy that I was picking up with these, like, pyramids on the Knight of Wands. Yeah, I think I'll leave the energy check-in at that. You'll know if that's for you. You'll know if that resonates. Oh, I forgot to say my little disclaimer at the beginning of this. So keep in mind that this is a general collective reading, so only take what resonates, please. You'll know if it resonates. Don't force anything to fit, basically. Use your discernment. You know, this might be your reading, but not every single message and every single thing that I say is, you know, meant for you. But that's kind of how collective general tarot readings on YouTube go. You know, it could be a reading that's meant for you, but maybe only like 2% of the messages are meant for you, or maybe 50, or maybe 70, or maybe 99, or maybe 100. It just, you just have to use your discernment, and like I said, only take what resonates. Okay. Now, for us to get into the main meat of the video. So I pulled some cards for our main question, which is what aspect of your shadow needs to be integrated at this time. And we have burial ground, shapeshifter, and the starborn. I'm actually going to put them like this. Does that look okay? Yeah. With burial ground, immediately I'm picking up on this sort of karmic residue. Again, sort of similar to that past life thread of energy that I got from your energy check-in. Like, there might be certain fears and wounds that you're dealing with right now, consciously or unconsciously, that aren't even from this lifetime, that they come from past lives and stuff. That's what I mean by karmic residue. Definitely a lot about release and transition. I feel like this energy is very, or this aspect of your shadow that we're about to get into is pretty in the forefront of your mind right now. I feel like it is something that the universe is sort of, has you set up to face, I guess. With this shapeshifter energy and the starborn. Oh, okay. So, what I'm getting is that there is a side of your shadow that wants to cloak and conceal your uniqueness, your true essence. I feel like you are someone that is very unique and different, and because of this, you do have something. Well, everyone is unique and different, obviously, but some people just stand out in that way by how different they are, you know? And everyone also has something to offer the world, I think, but there's this sort of calling or higher calling from the universe for you to live in this true essence. The Starborn can talk a lot about, like, your childhood and your younger self. For me specifically, for this card, I do get a lot of, like, from teenage years, so your inner teen may be coming up at this time, or certain woundings that you experienced when you were a teenager, actually. With a shapeshifter, yeah, it's like, depending on who's around you or whatever circumstances you're dealing with at current, whatever environment you're in, right? You have this tendency to sort of conceal this energy. And you might have to wear, like, a lot of hats or fit a lot of different roles in your life right now, which is not necessarily a bad thing, but, or maybe that has been the case for you for a long time, or a common theme in your life, like you just excuse me, you just might have, like, a lot of different things that you do for whatever reason. I was trying to pick up on what it was, but I think since it's collective, there's too many possibilities for me to pick out a certain one. But anyways, it's not necessarily a bad thing to have a lot of different, to wear a lot of different hats, like I said, and be involved in a lot of different things, I guess, like, but to a certain degree, that has, like, I guess you could say, bred this shadow in a way, or like fueled it to where it turns into masks, you know? I feel like the shadow here that I'm looking at is someone that keeps their true self and their true essence under like heavy lock and key, you know? You don't feel comfortable showing that to anyone. Or, well, I didn't want to say not to anyone. I was going to say don't feel comfortable showing it to everyone, but I said to anyone, so I don't believe in coincidences, especially during readings like this, so also picking up this sense of like losing touch with this starborn energy from sort of this distorted shapeshifter energy of wearing different masks in different environments around different people. It comes from a place of unbalanced, bruised, or it comes out of a place of the ego being damaged in some way. Because what you're doing by wearing all these different masks and hiding this true essence of yourself that you feel called to walk through life in, it comes from a place of fear, and through that fear you are seeking to control how people perceive you, how people view you. You want to have control over that. Because if people see the real, true, authentic you, and they judge that harshly in some way, then you know, it can actually damage you. If they judge one of the masks, you know, that's not really you, so it doesn't have to hurt, you know. I feel like I want to read more about, I feel called to get the book out and read about the Starborn. I don't always get the guidebook out, but sometimes I feel called to, and there's like one or something in it that we're meant to see. Oh, that's 3. It's gonna be way earlier. Okay. The Starborn, the divine child, the star child, the destined. An elusive yet radiant aspect of the self, the Starborn archetype points to the cosmic spark of light that arrives with each being at birth. The moment the newborn crowns, whether vaginally or surgically, the royal stars above are said to constellate in a unique shape that maps our path in the world. The idea of destiny is controversial, yet the Starborn naturally feels a sense of destination and purpose, aiming itself toward a future that is beyond the mundane. When this card appears, travel back to your birth story for clues and insight. What did you desire when you were young? Practice seeing your life from a mythic point of view rather than as a series of logistics. Heavy on that message, I feel. Practice seeing your life from a mythic point of view rather than as a series of logistics. Read the story of the 3 fates and envision yourself born under the stars with a unique destiny. So, when light, it's a light, trusting, vibrant, and aimed. When dark, a feeling of misalignment and loss of longing. What does this say? Have your chart read. Study your constellated shape. Ask questions. What does the process conjure in you? Faith or mistrust? What would happen if you saw the galaxy as your ally? And when this card appears, don't be surprised if you receive a surge or desire for a long-lost dream, one you haven't visited since childhood. Let this desire shake you up. So, what else do we have? Yeah, with burial ground, I'm getting that this mode of being that you probably have been in and kind of been used to operating in for a long time is coming to surface in some way in your life right now, because the universe, source, is trying to get you to close that cycle out, to move past this. With the shapeshifter as well, there's an element of having lost touch with. It's not literally lost, but the sense of you having lost touch with your true essence, in a way, your divine essence, your kind of north node energy that, you know, pushes you through life in a less mundane way, you know, not just going through the motions, not just doing what makes sense, being divinely inspired down a certain path, you know, moving with a certain sort of soul purpose. And I feel like through wearing all these masks, to a certain degree, you might have lost touch with, or you don't even know, you know, what's the mask. There's a level of confusion, what I'm trying to say. I think you get what I'm trying to say. Yeah, I think that's the gist of what I'm seeing. I'm going to move into how you can integrate this shadow, move forward. I'm gonna get out the Starseed Oracle, and we're gonna get the tarot back out. Oh my gosh, can I split the deck or no? Barely. Spirit, how can my pile 2 collective integrate this current aspect of their shadow? Let's see what that is. Portal. It says doors are opening. You decide. Rewards. Wild card. Inner Earth. You'll survive this. New solutions and beginnings. Bottom of the deck. Soul plan. The fated life versus the destiny life. More about destiny. The Starborn was... Oh my gosh. Did I say... The Starborn was a lot about destiny. Let's get some tarot. Spirit, please tell me more about this energy, how my pile 2 collective can integrate this energy. Oh shit. Almost dropped the whole deck on the floor. Can I get 1 or 2 more cards, Spirit, for my pile 2 collective? Oh. 8 of Pentacles. Pile 1 also got the 8 of Pentacles during this part. 4 of Wands on the bottom of the deck. I'm going to keep that bottom of the deck energy right here. Okay. With this portal energy, I really like that card. I like this part of it. I wish I could walk through it. Looks fun. Looks fun on the other side of there. But there's something about, like, with the portal energy, it's unexpected, you know, unexpected paths. When we follow these sort of higher, like, soul aligned paths, they don't make sense sometimes, you know, and it's very easy to be fearful of that because, I mean, a lot of people fear the unknown, which comes from a valid place because you don't know what to expect. So it takes a lot of trust in yourself and your own discernment and faith that you are literally prepared for anything, you know. This King of Swords, I feel like this is you usually. You know, usually in a King of Swords, very logical, controlled sort of energy. I don't like this King of Swords because, well, not that I don't. Don't take that as I don't like you, pile 2. Your energy's cool, you're fine, but I'm just saying, the expression on his face, he just looks kind of like, he just looks so over it. He's so jaded, you know, got that sword up in the air. Like, would you go and chill with him? Be honest. I don't think so. Not that that's literally you. I really hope y'all don't take that the wrong way. But there's a guardedness and a jadedness. Like, this King of Swords, he's not trying to go through that portal energy, right? And there's this need to sort of, while, you know, your logical and rational mind, we have that for a reason. It's not useless, obviously. But there's this need to sort of temper that energy with intuition, with the heart chakra energy, with taking into account what your heart desires as well, tapping into that as a similar kind of wisdom as is, you know, your logical mind. Because it is, you know, it's a process to trust your intuition to that degree. I mean, I'm still on that journey. The journey never really ends, but your intuitive self and your higher self, your intuition, and your spirit, it communicates with you in so many ways, and that wisdom is just as valuable as something from your brain, your rational mind, your 3D mind. To me, sometimes it is more valuable, but you have to learn how to interpret those messages. I'm getting solar plexus chakra and heart chakra. Maybe you could benefit from healing those or balancing those. Might have some blocks on there. With Inner Earth, new solutions and beginnings. Yeah, new solutions. Going about things in a different sort of way than you're used to, which is uncomfortable, but you'll survive it, you know? Think about the shit that you have survived in the past, you know? It's probably not as bad as what's going on right now. 8 of Pentacles and 4 of Wands. I feel like I want to get one more card. Spirit, why Eight of Pentacles? Why Eight of Pentacles? That is 2 cards. I'm not taking that. Why is the Eight of Pentacles here, Spirit? Seven of Swords. Oh, now we have the Devil on the bottom of the deck. Okay, that is making more sense to me. So, with the Eight of Pentacles, Spirit is literally saying that you just need to work on, when it comes to your sort of, I don't want to say knee-jerk reaction, but this way of wearing different masks and trying to control how people perceive you and guarding your authentic self, your true essence out of fear. You just need to work on it. You know, you just need to stop. You need to get out of that deceptive energy. And with it now being clarified by the Devil, I'm getting that in working on that and on doing that, you're going to have to address any other maladaptive coping skills, I guess you could say. Bad habits that you really low-key know that you've outgrown and you need to stop partaking in. Maladaptive coping skills. Yeah, that's basically what the Devil is talking about with these 3 cards here. This Inner Earth card, my attention is drawn back to it. It's so fruitful. It's so lush and green and alive, you know? Beginnings, new solutions and beginnings. I'm thinking back to that energy check-in with that Knight of Wands, the very first card we got out. And Spirit is saying that, well, this is the block from that, right? It's this proclivity to want to cloak yourself or control how much or how deeply people can see into you. It's blocking you from whatever it is that you're desiring, that your heart's desiring, that you're trying to move towards right now. It's a lot about softening. But the more that you try and reconcile with this energy, you're actually going to see the fruits of that labor turn around, like, instantaneously, like, really quickly. Yeah, basically what I'm seeing for how, just the main theme is really softening from this very guarded, extremely logical, extremely rational way of looking at certain situations that are like this portal energy, like this wild card, certain timelines or paths that open up that you're not 100% sure, like, how they'll turn out or what's going to happen because of it. You try and go about it extremely logically and rationally to try and figure everything out, and when you can't, you just become guarded to it. There's a balance here with the Temperance that you're being called to try and feel into and practice balancing out the logic with emotions and spirit as well. Okay, I'm going to get you some closing advice. Eight of Wands. I wasn't looking, and then I looked and saw the Eight of Wands. I'm taking that as confirmation when I said that as you work on the main topic of what we've been talking about in this whole reading, you'll see the fruits of that labor, and things come in your material, in your 3D very quickly. Basically, clearing that out will open up a lot of stuff. That is most likely pretty destined for you right now, because we did get a lot about destined. What am I opening up on? Memories of love. Six of Cups energy. Well, this is, the green is like Cups energy, so it's like the Six of Cups. Again, with that, I got that thread of nostalgia fueled energy with that Ace of Pentacles and the energy check-in. And here it is again. I need a whole nother reading to get into all that. Let's just get into the closing advice. Spirit, what closing advice do you have for my Pile 2 collective? Anything else you would like to tell them to close out the reading? Patience and planning. Strength. Don't want to get one more. I want to get one more. I only got 2 for Pile 1, so don't tell them, okay, that I got you an extra card, okay? Just keep quiet. Material and spiritual prosperity. Heavy emphasis on the physical, on the 3D for your advice. With this patience and planning, I'm getting, there is a certain need for like surrender and trust in the process. Yeah, I think that's just a similar message to what I got in the last spread of needing to kind of release that sort of, that need, that proclivity to try and over rationalize or figure out like what actions you need to take, and like this overly planning energy. With the Strength, I'm getting that. Is the camera even focused? Okay, there we go. Oh, this is not. it's power technically, but it's based off of the strength card in the traditional tarot. With the power card, this is about emotional. I'm getting more about heart chakra energy again. I feel like the shadow is weighing heavy in your heart right now. And it really is wanting to be cleared. And it might touch on some past painful wounding for you, but you can handle it. You can face wherever that pain and that shadow is stemming from. Basically, you just need to kind of trace it back to the first time that you felt like sorry, I had like a burp coming up. I hate those channeling burps. They're so uncomfortable. But basically trace it back. Think back to your childhood and when you were kind of in that true, authentic essence of yourself because you didn't know any better. And try and think back to the first time that that someone, like, I'm not sure what they might have done to hurt you or make you feel ashamed or wound you in whatever way it was, but try and think back to that time and sort of take its power away, you know? Because back then when that wounding did happen, when you were probably very young, probably in childhood, you weren't equipped to deal with it then, and no one was equipped to help you with it, but now the person that you are now, you can sort of comfort and, you know, tell that younger version of yourself what you wish someone would have told you when that happened. And that will sort of start to clear that up and make it to where it's not, because certain shadows are trapped in like our nervous system from really early on, and if we don't go trace it all the way back to like the core wounding when it first happened, then we can't really deal with it. We might even know what it is and want to stop it, but we can't until we reconcile with it being trapped in our nervous system, with us still not feeling safe enough to, even with the mental knowledge that that's what it is, we can't really move through it or make different decisions because our body doesn't feel safe enough to, because of that thing that happened. So we have to trace it back to the source and sort of work our inner child or that past version of ourselves through that, so the past version of ourselves can let it go, and then it will leave our nervous system. That was a big download that I got from that card. Wow. But yeah, that's just talking about that emotional strength to go there and to deal with that and excavate that out of you. With material and spiritual prosperity, yeah, you're on the brink of harmony. You're on the brink of a lot of abundance and fruits coming in. You just need to, like I said, deal with this shadow aspect, reconcile it, and clear that stuff out so this next cycle can come in for you. But yeah, that's the reading. That's all the messages that I have for you. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like the video if you liked it. Maybe leave a little comment, you know, don't be shy. If you would like a personal reading with me, you can find my Etsy shop down below in the description. And yeah, consider subscribing if you would like to see more of these kinds of videos from me. And hopefully I'll see you in the next one. Bye.